Summary of The Drover's Wife by Henry Lawson. Tommy, the bushwoman's oldest son, tells her that a snake has just come into their small, run-down house in the middle of the Australian desert. Tommy uses a stick to go after the snake, and Alligator, the family dog, follows him. Both of them try to catch the snake, but it slips under the house's floorboards. Knowing that a snake bite so far from help would kill her, the bushwoman tries to get the snake to come out but fails. As the sun goes down and a storm is coming, she makes a bed for her children on the kitchen table, where they will be safe from the snake. The bushwoman used to wish for a better life and liked it when her husband, a drover, took care of her. Since he lost everything in a drought, she has gotten used to being on her own and working hard to make sure her family stays alive. Even though she doesn't see her husband that often, he takes good care of her. But because he is gone for long periods of time, she has to take care of the family on her own and protect them from the many dangers they face in the bush. She almost died while giving birth once, and a local Aboriginal couple were the only ones who could save her. When one of her children died, she rode with the child's body for almost 20 miles to find help. She also fought a bushfire that almost burned down the house. Four bushmen who came at the last minute helped her put out the fire. She hasn't always won against nature. She cried when a flood broke through the dam her husband had built, and she lost her two best cows to illness. But she has been able to fight off many wild animals and keep men from coming to the door when her husband is away. She doesn't have much to do in the desert, but she does find time to read the young lady's journal. Every Sunday, she dresses up with her kids and takes them on long walks through the bush in her baby carriage. The bushwoman sees that her light is almost out, so she goes to the woodpile to get some more wood. When she does this, the woodpile falls down, which makes her realize that the Aboriginal man who built it must have tricked her by making it hollow. She starts to cry, but quickly stops. Alligator walks up to the wall between the kitchen and the rest of the house all of a sudden, and the bushwoman knows the snake must be coming out. She goes to get her stick, but Alligator is already there. The dog puts his mouth on the snake and shakes it until it dies. The woman then throws what's left of the snake into a fire. Tommy hugs his mother and tells her that he will never be a drover like his father.
About the author. Henry Lawson was born in the rural Australian goldfields of Grenfell in 1867. His father was a Norwegian miner and his mother was a feminist who worked for women's rights. His mother ran a newspaper for women called The Dawn and published her own poems and stories. Lawson went to school as a boy, but by the time he was 14, he was deaf, and even though he loved to read, he failed his tests to get into college. At age 16, he moved to Sydney with his mother to study. At age 20, his first song, A Song of the Republic, was published in the Bulletin. Starting in 1890, he wrote for different newspapers. In 1892, the Bulletin paid for him to take a trip into the bush, where he saw for himself how hard life was in rural Australia. Lawson married Bertha Brett Jr. in 1896, when he was 29 years old. In 1903, she filed for a divorce, saying that he had hurt her. By the time they split up, Lawson was known as one of the most famous Australian writers of his time. Still, he was poor and a drinker, and he went to jail because he didn't pay child support. After his divorce, he moved into a boarding house run by an older woman named Isabel Byers. She became his patron and a strong supporter of his work for the rest of his life. Lawson died in 1922 from a brain hemorrhage. He was given a state funeral in his home state of New South Wales.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.